Very, very, very confused. Very confused. What is the economy doing, Michael? What is the economy doing? It's up, it's down. You can't, can't get jobs in hospitality. Can't buy a car. What's the story?
Yeah, so welcome to episode 210, Morning Minutes with myself, Michael Burgio, and Mark Novak. What stemmed this conversation, I was chatting with a Harriet electrician who was looking to use the government incentive of $150,000 tax write-off with any new asset or machinery. And long story short, called up multiple dealerships all across Sydney to buy a couple of utes, and basically no one could sell him one. No one had one. Dealerships weren't even like sharing stock within different dealerships because the stock was so low. They wouldn't take a deposit. They wouldn't do anything. And he was very stunned that it had gotten to that tight. And then the guy even gave said like Land Rovers are out, like about 10 brands have basically just been sold out. You can't get any stock. And they were like, we don't know when it's going to come, August. And he was like, well, I just want to buy it to get the tax benefit, but not an option. So as much as we've said it in many shows before, Mark, it's not, when times are struggling, it's not the time to be like proudly celebrating how busy you are when there's a lot of people suffering, especially in retail and hospitality. But you had a similar stories and experience when you went through Brookvale, didn't you?
Yeah, look, I just find it, and I mean this most respectful, like you just said, most respectfully to people that are hurting. I get that. But I don't want to focus on that because I think there's so many more. I know there's so many more people out there that are okay than are actually suffering. And if we can help the suffering people, let's do that. That seems to be retail, more so hospitality, more so travel, spending our money on local travel, spending our money in restaurants if we can to help these guys survive. But the amount of times I'm just hearing stuff from people about being busy in a positive way, economic in a positive way, things are great in a positive way. I'm thinking, seriously, cars, like you said, this weekend was one of them. For tradies, they've just absolutely nailed the truck market, the van market. I bought a trailer for a car for work, and I did a tour de Brookvale. Brookvale's Tour de Brookvale, like Tour de France, but in Brookvale. I did a tour, and Brookvale's like the
commercial. In a car, not a bicycle.
in a van, not a bicycle. And I did a tour around Brookvale. And Brookvale, for the Northern Beaches, we've got 200,000 people, 50,000 people, 100,000 homes. Brookvale is like that industrial commercial area. Now, doing a tour around there, talking to all the guys around there, everyone was sort of looking over their shoulder going, nah, there's nothing over my shoulder. It's all right here. And I'm going, fuck. So I had to go to the dirt bike mechanic and accessories guy. How's business? Good. He was just next to the liquor shop in Brookvale. I went to Smith's Concepts, Kyle, who does he does branding on the side of utes.
Yeah, he does sick artwork, doesn't he?
Sick artwork. Yeah. He does.
You've done a segment with him, Buried in Brookvale, on your page probably a while back, going through some of the bikes he does. I love that. We should do more Harley Davidson. Buried in Brookvale, because there are so many cool businesses in Brookvale you wouldn't even think of. Like you just
nuts. But he's busy, right? So how you going, mate? Yep, great, good, really good. Really, really good. Yep, really good. Then I went around to the auto electrician. How's it going? Flat out. Everyone's flat out. Went around to the tow bar guy. Said, how's it going? I said, mate, it's bananas at the moment. So I'm there thinking, and then I meet a couple of buddies of mine in restaurants locally, and they're telling me they can't find staff. So what do you mean you can't find staff? They're going, well, everyone wants to start after 1st of September. I'm going,
JobKeeper. That's when that ends, doesn't it?
Yeah. And he's going, they're all on JobKeeper. I'm going, what do you mean? He goes, well, they don't want to work because they're on JobKeeper. And I'm going, yeah, but can't they even make double the money potentially? Can't they work for you and get the JobKeeper and be really and do really, really well. And they're like, yeah, they can, but they don't want to. They're just happy with the job keeper. So hospitality people can't find job. Like, how bad can the bloody economy be? Now, I'm excluding travel and tourism and stuff like that, and there's a couple of obvious sectors there which are nailed. But for the rest of the sectors in the marketplace, I'm finding it hard to find people that are in pain, honestly.
Yeah, and there's a lot that just. Do you think it's because we did a show at COVID started, Mark, where you said call your tradie, get stuff done? Do you reckon the whole economy heard that, and that's why? You remember we did the show, and you're like, call the mechanic, get that fixed. If you need anything around the house, get that fixed. Use them while you can. I reckon that's because of it. The economy stood up because of us.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Prime Minister to call and thank me for it.
Yeah.
But lubricating a local is definitely working. Everyone is lubricating their local. It's good.
Yes.
Money's being spent, asset write-off.
Hey, Anmar, hey, Rosie, Aaron. And then also over the weekend, and I think Anmar can attest to this as well, because I've seen some of her posts about open homes. Numbers have been huge. I had 3-4 people comment me on the weekend who rocked up to a house, Cassiona's on, house in French's Forest, just under 30 groups there. And 3 people said to me going, so much for a shit market. Just like, why is everyone here? Sort of thing. I was like, yep. So get your foot forward. So I think things are strong. Things are strong. And especially...
I just think people are getting a mixed messages, and it's really, really confusing everyone. Everyone's like, it's like, isn't the world meant to be, just blowing up? And then you talk to people on the ground like, nah. Like, what do you mean? Oh, mate, It's been the busiest time I've ever had, and I think that we've just got to, but you know what? A year ago, 5, 7, 12, 15, there's always been sectors that are not doing well and sectors that are doing well.
That's so true.
Majority of sectors are okay. Minority are suffering. And that's just what's happening now. No more, no less than what we normally see.
Andrew Rams said, great point, Mark. I'm seeing people put EOIs on the Gold Coast sight unseen. Yeah, because when you pull back, especially if you're buying commercial, it's a very long time purchase. Like, you're not holding it for 5 years, you're holding it for 50 years. And there's a lot of seasoned commercial people are a little bit like, there's a strong, like, they're just thinking, well, if I'm going to own for 50 years, there's going to be good times and bad times. Look at the last 50 years. There's been recessions, there's been this, there's been that, there's been ups and downs during that period. So you're playing a bit more of the long game. But I think what's really what's keeping the residential market quite strong is a lot of people, they're not selling to get out of the market, they're selling moving in the market. So regardless, I think we always talk about that price compression. If you're selling your $800,000 unit for 80 grand less, but you're buying that $1.5 million property for 150 grand less, your net position is actually better off. I think a lot of people are seeing that with lower interest rates, because a lot of people, if you're good on paper, it's actually quite easy for you to get the loan. So then they're buying
at 2%.
Yeah,
2.5%.
2.5. It's ridiculously low. So when you got those foundations, I think it's just going to steamroll the economy forward. And we did say this in a previous show, where if we don't have tourism and education and immigration, we need construction and we need property to hold the rest up. Like, it's simple as that. If you had a pie chart of our economy and they were all 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, this is the only 1/3 we've got. So it's either roll over and just let it potentially go into a recession, which maybe I think technically it did, Mark. Maybe I think there was a post, but it's soaring out of it now. What did David say? Jay, we need more incentives to create jobs, bring back the factories Australia we need. Yeah, well, I think they're doing the job maker. I haven't really heard of anything with that. Have you heard anything of that, Mark? Job maker? I don't think he's done a plan. But as he said, a lot of people don't want jobs because they're on job keeper. So I think that's got to end.
Look, maybe it's me. I would love to know from our viewers right now. I would love to know, are they witnessing people that around them that are doing sort of thumbs up or thumbs down with people around them? Because I may be an optimist, or I may be exposed to only people that are positive and willing to trade, because that's our business. You know, you're only meeting people if they want to buy, and you're only meeting people if, you know what I mean. Like we probably don't have an equal exposure to the whole marketplace.
That's true.
I'd love to know what everyone's seeing out there, because what
David,
we're
Lesio.
seeing. What are they saying?
Oh, just gives like, because I think you're a good point as well. If you're at an open home, they've sort of got the money to be there. Yeah. But a lot of the ones you said they weren't related properly. You're popping in to get a tow bar, and we all know
electrician.
People are going to speak more positive than, like, they're not going to say I'm hurting. Like, let's face it. But you can always sort of tell. And if you've got everyone speaking pretty enthusiastically, like my mate Harry, he's got the Sparky business, solar business, the Get a Delivery. Like, there's 4 businesses in one, and across it is all really, really busy. And to be honest, I think like, he's just like, shit, we haven't seen it. And all the boys have said that. So when you hear it from the top to the bottom, I do believe there's a big portion of people who are powering along, head down, bum up. But I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, David, people you're across, family members who have businesses, possibly not in retail, but even in retail, because I think retail would be the sector that is rosy.
Yeah, look, not 19 people took a lease out with us for commercial. A record high for us, a monthly figure, would be about 9 leasing deals. You know, normally 5 to 8 leasing deals a month. We saw 19 leasing deals last month. 19. They're people moving their business, starting their business. I think a lot of people are decentralizing from the CBD.
Yeah, this will go on what Lesco just said. I appreciate your comments. And the one thing I was very shocked about, especially the last month with the amount of leasing deals, they weren't people contracting. They were people expanding, which is so exciting. Like, we don't like to do business. We don't like when people have to sell because they're struggling. We don't like when people have to take a smaller property because they're struggling. And every of those 15, Mark, a lot of them are new businesses, a home business going on their own, which is so exciting. And then taking a bigger property. So,
and a lot of them are building a better business. They're not covering their bum. They're actually building a better business to accommodate.
Yep. And Lesio goes, as a coffee wholesaler, it has segmented into the Northern Beaches. Northern Beaches clients are doing really well. CBD are mostly dead at the moment, but overall sentiment appears that people are still spending in coffee, if not more than before. And Mal, what type of commercial property is more in demand? Street front side.
Well, we're finding the retail, DY retail's pretty much booked out now, almost all gone. Offices being soaked up. It's pretty much all warehousing being soaked up. It's sort of all the stuff that we've traditionally had vacant for long periods is all just walking out the door. It's incredible.
And landlords are really coming to the party to lease that. So regardless of the dollar value, it's more people willing to do a deal. That's probably been the most exciting thing. Like, we did a show before, landlords are doing from same rent to 30% lower, but it's when people were thinking no one's going to move or do anything in the market with so much uncertainty, it's really exciting to see people get out there with confidence and their business, and then when that comes, well, I reckon it's a pretty small window of people getting really good deals at the moment, because when
cars is gone.
Yeah, well, cars are gone.
You're not getting a good deal on a car. They're all sold out. They're not making as many of them. They've got a bit of a lull in production. So cars, if you want to buy a car, you missed your boat. That was about 2 months ago.
Yes, 100%.
Utes and stuff like that. Or actually even luxury cars. I read an article yesterday. Lexus, BMW, Merc, Audi have all recorded absolute record highs after a 2-year slump.
Wow. And then I reckon commercial leasing you got another month or two, because owners are just going to go, well, you've leased 15 at X amount last month. Like, well, let's give a little bit more in the pipe there. So maybe a bit longer, maybe 3 months. And residential, I see that as well. Anyone buying and selling at the moment, you want to be doing it sort of now, because I can just see it really get away. There was just so many people out there. We had a couple opens with 20 people, 30 people, and
does everyone forget about? Sorry, Michael. Does everyone forget about the news a month ago or month and a half ago with what the major banks were saying?
Which was
down 30 to 50%.
Yeah, that ain't
what happened. What happened there?
Yeah, it's so true. This year we're up 13% even after COVID, and I think we're still going to be growing.
So, negative people out there are going to say, oh, yeah, you wait till 1st of September, you wait. Or, it'd be interesting. It'd be really interesting because I reckon we're going to be having this conversation again in a month's time.
Yep, and we'll save this one. So takeouts of this is, well, you got the government incentive, which I believe is still running. You did miss this financial year, but there may be some creative accounting. But that's up and running. You can do that. Cars, it's difficult. And that was the main thing of the headline, which is that was an eye-opener. When, cars, you almost think, you'll always be able to buy one. They're always there. But to hear, someone trying to use that grant to buy the asset of a car and just basically turned away because they're just sold out. That was a big eye opener, and not just
they wouldn't even take it. They wouldn't even take a deposit for one.
They wouldn't even take a deposit because they had no idea of when they were getting stock, when it would come in. So I was like, wow. And then you were telling me about the spark. Everyone in Brookvale. I was like, well, maybe it's not as bad as you read. So it's always good that we can pass on our experience and our clients' experience from the ground to everyone watching. And the same as you guys. Thank you, Lesio, for your comment, and Mal. Really appreciate the interaction.
All the bad stuff is just being repeated regularly.
Yeah.
All I hear is COVID.
Yep.
I hear travel. Yep. I hear hospitality. And I hear watch out recession 1st of September when JobKeeper finishes, we're finished. I hear that. That's like on repeat, like a radio station, around and around and around and around and around, just repeating the whole time.
Yeah.
All the time. But what I'm not hearing is what we're talking about today, which is a summation of the last 3 months of how all these businesses are going. And all these businesses are summation of how sum up how they are going in the last 3 months. They are all saying we're okay. We're actually, we're not, if they are minting it, they're not telling us.
Yeah, and rightfully so. They won't, and we get that. There's so much. Today wasn't about throwing in the face of people struggling or not. We get the pain. We see it. We've got a lot that we're dealing with that are super struggling. But all we see in the media is just end of world. But there are people doing well, and it's more to share the confidence. If you are there, sitting at home, got a business idea, you're thinking about something, there are a lot of people who are the same boat as you and are grabbing this chance and opening up a business or expanding their business. Like I said, the deals we're doing at the moment on the commercial side, they're not people struggling and contracting. These are people going the next, taking advantage of a little bit of cheaper rates. They're just the business loans there, which is so exciting because that's what you need to funnel through. So that's what the message is. If you're sitting on the fence about doing something and all you hear is how shit the world is and how shit our economy is, we're not seeing it
rotation
as bad as that. If there's a pie chart with sectors, there's a quarter out there that is fucked. Tourism, education could be going down there, immigration, and hospitality. Don't get me wrong. We're talking about the other 75%. And a lot of people will be in that 75%.
Aussies are proving to be resilient. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say because that's a take. Oh, another one that's gone bananas before we go. You tried to book an Australian holiday lately?
No. Have you?
Yeah.
How'd you go?
Try to book an Airbnb, guys, around New South Wales.
Because you had that experience where you booked early and Conway booked late and double the price.
Yep, it's impossible. So if you want to get around, if you want to go to different parts, obviously Victoria's out now, but if you want to go to different parts of Australia, or if you particularly want to travel around New South Wales, get a little holiday house through this period where school holiday period at the moment, absolutely no chance. Good luck. Good luck.
That's good. Alrighty, guys. That's the take.
Have a great week, everyone. Beautiful day.
Yeah.
Aussies are resilient. That we're going to be okay.
We will. Alrighty. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Back tomorrow, 7:45.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
boy.